enjoy selling to first-time home buyers. It's a thrill because you're assisting someone, and I think they're more excited than any other person because it's their first house, and that's just a thrill to be able to counsel people on the right way of doing it and the best mortgage. We talked all about this mortgages. I was just thinking to myself, we do take cash also. If you want to build a house, we take cash. We do take cash.
I was just going to say that.
But obviously, renting versus buying, as the first real estate agent pointed out there, buying is not for everybody. But if you have that ability, obviously, this is something that most people don't do. But if you're paying $1,000 in rent, and that goes up just slightly, let's say 5%. Maybe that's a little aggressive in the Rochester market, but our rents are quite high in Rochester. And after 5 years, look at that number. That's a huge amount of money that hasn't really done anything for you. It didn't give you a tax write-off. It didn't build any equity for you. So if there is an ability to do it, obviously it makes sense. Of course, you're all here for that reason, but this is just to reinforce it. And nothing to show after you've spent that money. Why buy a home? Stable housing costs. Most people today are getting a fixed rate mortgage. So you have an idea what your principal and interest, you know what your principal and interest is going to be. Your taxes are typically going to go up, but they haven't gone up a considerable amount. It's been fairly gradual, so you can estimate what your taxes are going to be. And your insurance is fairly level, so you know what your monthly payment's going to be. Tax deductions are available for home ownership. Is everybody familiar with tax deductions, how you can do some write-offs? We're going to cover that in just a little bit. Build equity and wealth through appreciation of the property. Before you know it, 5 years have gone by, and you paid down your mortgage. The interest is, the principal's gone down, and also if you purchase the home at the right price and at the right location, usually the values are going up. They talk about the Rochester market. If you go back a few years ago when everybody having their trouble, we have a very boring real estate market. It doesn't go up real quick, but it doesn't go down real quick either. So it's usually a confident, slow appreciation. Future equity buildup allows you to set up retirement investments. Well, obviously, if you purchase your home and pay it off, that's all that equity is yours, and you can borrow against it if need be. I went to my accountant. I said, just give me a simple sheet to explain to people how easy it is to write off this and give me some ideas. He said, there's no easy way. So there isn't. We sat down just for a few minutes, and even though I've been in the business 28 years, he kind of enlightened me on how complicated things can be, depending on your situation. So this is just an example. This is just an idea of how you can save. You can write off all your mortgage interest right now. You can write off your mortgage interest. You can write off the real estate taxes. So that offsets right against your income that the federal government would normally take. So in this situation, we did a $150,000 purchase with $140,000 mortgage. If you had an annual income of $100,000 with a two-person household, versus a standard deduction, because you have standard deductions that you're going to get when you live in this country. Whether you rent or own, you have some standard deductions. Now when you go into ownership and you have interest, you can write off real estate taxes. This would save you about $150 a month against your income taxes. So that would be $150 less you pay to the federal government or the state government. That's money you'd save because you own now opposed to renting. Everybody familiar with that? A little bit? Okay. And then it gives you an opportunity. You ever hear the long form? Now you can itemize. So you can possibly write off charities, donations. Like my wife always says, I have a garage sale. I said, well, let me take it to the Salvation Army, and if I get a receipt for handing that in, then I can itemize that. So it saves me money, an opportunity to lower my tax costs. And that's when you get into ownership. Deduction be done annually. So you can make changes, like if you're in the house after a year and you see, maybe you get back $2,000 normally, and now you own, so you got back $4,000 or $4,500, then you go to your employer and maybe adjust your wages a little bit so that money's in your paycheck on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, however you get paid, rather than waiting till the end of the year. Or some people like to leave it in there and they look at it as a savings account. But then you're giving the federal government a free loan, because you don't get any interest on your money when you get it back.